Weatherbell Analytics meteorologist Joe Bastori daily update. This was my backyard last night at about 8 o'clock, and then we got another 3 inches, so this was it this morning, so we got a lot of snow here. If you've been watching the daily update, you can judge, all right, we were very bullish on this storm. Now, also bullish on a warm-up coming around and after the time of Thanksgiving. Why? When we get a lot of thunderstorms around the Indian Ocean like this, you look for the pattern across the United States to get warm. Now, this is November 8th, but it's going the opposite way now, right? See them all diminishing? So, what's 10 to 15 days down the road? That gets us to the end of the month and the front 10 days of December. So, I don't know if you knew that the potion for this notion of more weather commotion lies in the Indian Ocean. All right, try saying that fast 3 times. But we like to show you the why before the what here at weatherbell.com. And we've got the Southern Oscillation Index that is falling, and that means pressures are rising around Australia, and that's a sign that this pattern is evolving. So that what we try to do is we try to show you stuff way before the fact. Now, listen. Here's what's interesting about this winter. Even when warmer air is coming, you can see the colder air that's going to come back. So far, that's what I think's been going on. And it's not like there hasn't been cold around. See, while we basked in all this warmth in September, right? It was very cold in Canada. October, the cold started spreading south. Here we are so far for the month of November. And I think this winter, unlike last winter was a great winter. It went back and forth, an even battle, okay? Warm-ups were big, but cool-downs were big. The 2 winters before, though, due to the Super Nino, or partly due to the Super Nino and the overall pattern, winters were biased very warm. In other words, you get these warm spells, the cool-downs would come, they wouldn't be that great, and then the warm air would take over. This may be the opposite. It's not going to just be cold constantly, but it'll go back and forth. But the bias of the temperatures are such that the base temperature of the North American winter, especially across the United States, is liable to be lower than normal. So what happens is the cold shots are bigger, the warm-ups are not as great, all right? And that's what we're counting on for that forecast we have. But it's not, all I'm saying is, it's not like there hasn't been cold around. And in the heart of winter, you see this? It may be completely reversed, where this is where all your warmth is and this is where the cold is. And that's why your Weatherbell forecast is showing what it's showing for the winter. But this has been evolving. All right, we all bask in that warmth. And I tell people all the time, the September-October pattern made it warm, and the hurricanes of Man-Julian Oscillation, phase 8 and 1 and 2 are golden for hurricane activity during the hurricane season. That's why we're saying look out from as far away. And I hate to talk like this. I sound pompous. I understand that. But I have to review with you how we got here so we know where we're going. Those same phases of the MJO, folks, guess what? In the wintertime, guess what they do, right? So the same pattern, the same responses around the equator and the tropical oceans that are producing one set of weather events at one time of the year, the same things may be happening, but they produce another set at another time over North America. Now look at this Canadian here. Day 15. This was a 0Z run of the GFS. And I said, what is that at day 15? Look what it did at 6Z. It went right toward the Canadian. Listen, when I was in college and I was bored, these are the kind of maps I used to create when I wanted to see big storms, which explains why some of my grades weren't as good as they are. Brutal cold into Europe. This is a kind of pattern that is cold and stormy across the United States. It's the end of the month. And as we go that first 10 days of December, and the reason I'm showing is I just showed you what's going on in the Indian Ocean, right? And I got to see what's going on in the Indian. Well, you actually are. I was watching the Weather Channel yesterday, and they were talking about that cyclone hitting southern India. So, yeah, I guess they are talking about the Indian Ocean. But I look at it in a different way, all right? Oh, never mind. One of the guys I knew in college was up here yesterday. The Weather Channel might still be here, Mike Seidel, right? My son and I were going to go over. My son Garrett and I were going, let's go over there and harass him. But I said, he's got TV stuff to do. But in any case, it's always a big deal. Jay Paterno, the son of Coach Joe Paterno, the late Joe Paterno, tweeted out, says, never a good thing when you see the Weather Channel showing up in your town. Anyway, all right, day 1 through 6. It's too bad I have my global warming stance. I could do a lot of funny things on the Weather Channel. You know, they got that thing. What do they still have, that Friday night thing where they're hanging out like at a bar or something, talking over the weather? I don't know if they do or don't, but things could get pretty darn lively. If I wouldn't just be serving those drinks. I'd be making my Italian margaritas. You wouldn't believe, when you get a bunch of meteorologists together, what happens when they drink a couple of Italian margaritas. That's when you really start seeing the fireworks go off. Okay, day 1 through 6, day 6 through 11. I know why I'm so happy. I know why I'm happy. I'm meteorologically bipolar. When it snows, I'm happy. See that? All right, I admit it. Lots of warmth coming out in the 6 to 11. The 11 to 16, we see the cold starting to return. The 16 through the 20. 20 is maybe very cold in here. It's day 16 through 20. All right, now, here's precipitation. It's loaded up in the east, but what I want to point out is the southern branch is coming in, and that should put an end to the California wildfire season. And since we're predicting normal to above normal precipitation down here, the winter will turn very dry, I think, up here. That may set up another add to the whole wildfire equation next year, because you get a lot of precipitation in the winter. California, that foliage dries out, and all the other things that are going on out there. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but good news coming up in the shorter term. The above normal precip, and you're going to start seeing that. So even though precip's a lot up here, that's below normal. You're going to start seeing a lot of dry here, and then you'll see a lot of heavier precip this year, probably in the eastern part of the United States for the winter season. Here's the snow over the next 16 days. See, it returns. How about that? Boy, we've got some interesting things going on in Europe. At least the front part, the end of November on into the beginning of December, looks a lot like 2009. Wicked cold coming into Europe, day 1 through 6, 6 through 11, 11 through 16. So you're freezing over there. That's it for now. Enjoy the weather, only weather you got.